Welcome back to a brand new episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us wherever it is that you get your podcast. And you can watch every glorious episode on our YouTube, which is at Private Parts Pod. Today we have got one of TOWIE's OG legends, and it is the one and only Bobby Norris.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I've seen your new face everywhere at the moment.
It is doing the rounds, more than the old one.
It's looking good.
It's going down now. I'm still at a swollen stage because I'm like 3 months post. And they say 3 to 12 you can still be swollen. That's when it slowly contours. But I'm noticing a difference every week.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is it painful?
Not at all. And I'm rubbish with pain. But it ain't my first rodeo when it comes to surgery, you know what I mean, Liv?
But this is the biggest surgery you've ever had.
This is the biggest, yeah.
Okay, right, small setback for anyone. I'm sure everyone does know who you are. But started on TOWIE.
Yes.
And that was the launch of you.
Yeah, so I started in TOWIE back in the day when it was like OJ days, yeah, iconic. There was nothing like TOWIE. It was before like Geordie Shore, Chelsea and everything like that. So none of us really knew. We just thought it was a 6-week camera crew following us around. We couldn't really understand who was coming to the Sugar Hut or down the coffee shop to watch us have a row. Do you know what I mean? None of us could have predicted that 15, 16 years on, it would have become what it's become.
I mean, it's become amazing. Like, it's not a miracle that they're all still going, but it is amazing.
Because it was the strangest... Because obviously we'd had the Big Brothers back in the day where people went and lived in an house for 9 weeks, but then they got booted out and it was just another lot of people.
Yeah.
So you never got a reality show or reality star that was an ongoing thing. So I think there was no blueprint.
Yeah.
And obviously back then, because how long did you do Chelsea?
I did about 10 years.
And that's a long time in reality TV. And what kind of year did you start?
I started, it must have been about 2016.
So had Instagram become...
No, it was Twitter. It was Twitter.
It was Twitter
and that
days.
was fucking ferocious, let me tell you.
Because there was no word influencer, was there?
No.
There was no selling teeth whitening strips or nothing like that.
No, it was showing up at the odd dodgy club with your face plastered on the wall, and that was it.
Because back then as well, if you look back at what we posted, especially on Twitter, because we didn't have Instagram and TikTok hadn't even been thought of, I just don't know how we thought it was acceptable to post, the quality of photos that looked like they was took on a courgette. Do you know what I mean? And the captions I don't think I realised, because I'd had Facebook before TOWIE, and then Twitter come back, I kind of didn't realise it was going to become a public thing on what social media would be. So the kind of things we was just putting out was
unacceptable. Did you go back and delete a load of stuff?
I've never really gone back and looked, to be honest, but I noticed even, because you know, like when you update, you get a new phone and you go through your clouds and that, and I look at the photos from like 2011, 2012, I'm like, it's just ridiculous how that was even taken on a phone.
Taken on a BlackBerry and then written with something horrific. No, because I went back once and I honestly tweeted once saying I'm out tonight without my knickers on. Who writes that? And then I was like filtering it all through. So wait, how old were you when you started?
24.
See, young.
Really young.
And who did you start with?
So when I started, there was me, Gem, the Wrights, we had Jess, Carol, Lydia. Who else did we have back then? It was the Lucy McDays, Arj. So we was all just so naive to it.
Yeah.
Because it literally was like a fly on the wall then. But how reality TV's changed, obviously it's become a genre of its own. But it is no longer that kind of fly on the wall.
Yeah. What's your view on reality TV generally now?
Well, I kind of get why it's lasted. Is it's become like almost a living real life soap opera.
Yeah.
Because it kind of had to. Because if you look back at early days of, I guess, Chelsea, Geordie, TOWIE, what used to make it to screen, I don't know if that'd be enough nowadays.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Because some of it was quite vanilla. Obviously, shit went down and there was ding-dongs. But some of it compared to reality TV now was
you watch The Housewives in America.
Oh, my God,
They are next
level.
We could never do that.
Never in a million years.
But do you think it's changed a lot over the years? Like, since from your first day to when you left? Was it the whole just where
massively.
It worked?
And for me, I was always, and even now, I'm an open book. I think, hey, you can't be on social media and reality TV for 15 years and not be open to a degree, but certain people wouldn't. And because we didn't have social media, influencing weren't a thing, we didn't self-edit ourselves.
Yeah.
We would, hence, you go back to early series, we was having real life rows.
Yeah.
People wouldn't row like that now because I think they'd be scared of being cancelled.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to be disliked by their fans and followers. We didn't give a shit.
Yeah, no, I think people do worry too much because I think ultimately when I left Chelsea, I noticed that people were being very reserved to the point they were almost not behaving like themselves.
Yeah, did you used to see a difference
Oh,
in
yeah.
someone off camera and then on
Yeah.
the show?
They'd switch that shit on and I still stand there saying you're a cunt. But no, it massively changed.
It does irk me a little bit when you know someone's being so disingenuous, or I don't know if you'd ever been in these situations, but when you've had real life conversations with someone off camera and then they're completely denying it on camera.
The whole thing on there.
And I'm like, don't gaslight me and make me feel like I'm going mad.
Especially when you're standing your ground. It makes you look like you're insane.
It makes you look insane or a bullshit liar, and then you start questioning yourself, and it's just the strangest thing. Yeah, but it's when you look back, it is a mad. How do you feel looking back at your early days of Chelsea?
I mean, I did love it.
Yeah, I completely love it.
It was amazing. Like, we got to go away on these incredible trips. Like, we do 2 months in Ibiza. And, like, I think it was very much a friendship group. Like, we were all mates. And I think there was a mutual understanding that we sort of did what we did. We'd come away from it and all still be friends. Whereas towards the end of my time, I noticed it wasn't really like that. People would show up, film, and then you just wouldn't speak to each other again. It wasn't a friendship group. Yeah. And I don't know if it was the same for you guys.
Completely. Like, in the early days, and I guess I'm an only child, but it was the closest to having a big family, and Gemma was like my sister, and some of them was like a family. I know it's so cliche, I sound like Peggy Mitchell with family, but
that's what people call me when I tell them to get out of my pub.
We could have a row with each other, and then if it leaked into social media, and inevitably, obviously, the public would have their opinions, we would all have each other's back, though. Do you know what I mean? The show becomes something completely different in the end. I guess as reality TV changed, people was no longer being a clique. Was like, we can row with each other, but
no one else can get involved.
Yeah. But I remember us, we used to be like, they're Chelsea, they've got a touch here. You used to go away for 2 months. We used to get 5 days in Marbella. And they're like, they fucking got away for 2 months.
Living in the
There's
south
us
of
on
France.
our EasyJet for 5 days to Malaga. Nothing wrong with EasyJet. We all travel orange.
What do you think your hardest moment throughout all those years was?
I think for me, breakups, relationship stuff is the hardest thing, because it's anything else. I'm an open book. I've got skin like a rhino, Liv. It's no skin off my minge either way, what people think. Do you know what I mean? But a breakup is, because you're going to get people's opinions on it, and you're going through them emotions. And if there's a bit of a time delay from reality to it then airing, you're reliving the same thing in different time zones. Yeah. And it's the strangest thing. And then people's opinions on your breakup, and I find that the hardest.
And then I think when the public get involved and give their 2 cents worth, and then it's like you almost get to a point where you're so fucking confused because you don't know what to think. So you
don't know your arse from your elbow in the end. You're a little bit like, because you don't know. Because sometimes as well, I'm just a little bit like, I used to hold back, even if I'd been done bad. I was like, I'm not going to completely annihilate you on screen, but we've got to address that we've broken up. And I think, God, if people knew half of it, it's just, you don't want anyone to completely get fed to the wolves. Yeah. But it was just the strangest things, having to be so vulnerable and so real, talking about that, then putting their twisted version in, and it really irks my soul. Like, I've got a thing about like justice. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I can't bear liars.
But I was going to ask you this, because do you think there were any situations that aired that on reflection perfectly well that is not how it happened, and the editor completely taking control? Yeah,
not so much. It's not that I blame the edit, but I know there's certain things, because in terms of our edit team, they could only edit what the cast had brought to the table. Yeah. So it was more a sense of cast not being truthful on camera, and that was another thing. Like, my last series was the hardest I did in the end.
When did you leave? Sorry,
I left, I think 4 years ago now.
Oh, so it's actually not that long ago.
Not that long ago, and we had the whole panic D of COVID and that, and then Essex had this terrible pandemic of amnesia where people just decided that they didn't remember anything, and there's nothing worse than going to work. It's like I was going to work every day and someone going, "You're called John, you're called John." I'm like, "No, I'm Bobby." It got to about 6 weeks in, and there was a moment I thought, "Am I called John?" And you know when you kind of think, right, Bobby, you've got to just bow out for a bit now because this has all become a bit too surreal. But yeah, so I don't think it was so much the edit. Of course, the edit have got a story, they've got a narrative to film. Like, because still to this day, sometimes people would be like, "So what's your name in real life?" But they couldn't really understand the concept of what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not like Daddy Dyer being Mick in EastEnders. My name's Bobby. And I do remember thinking sometimes, especially when it was really hard filming tough stuff, I wish there was a character name so you could get in your motor after filming and just kind of leave that mask at work.
Yeah.
But that's the complete objection.
Did you find it hard switching off when you were in the thick of the filming? Like when you left and went home, could you just be like, okay, right, I've left that there now and switch off from it all?
I used to find it really, really, especially at the end of a series, for the first couple of weeks after, you'd kind of just be going to get your Crovendale or whatever, other milk's available. It's not an ad, but do you know what I mean? I'd just be out and about. And it was weird that there wasn't a camera crew there. I think as years went on, I definitely got used to when the cameras went down.
Yeah.
And then them being picked up again. But I think it becomes your life. You live and breathe that, and that's so just your normal, as you know. It's exactly the same concept. I guess Chelsea, George, you'll follow that formula of... Did you used to have like producers check in with you going?
Oh, every day?
Yeah.
So then when I stopped, I was like, why have I not got a phone call? I was like, I need help with this situation.
Why do you not give a shit anymore?
No, literally.
Because I think that's what people didn't really understand, is because when they got their head around that there was no character name, it was like, so you just bumped into each other. And I was like, well, the camera crew obviously knew we was going to bump into each other because that's why there's a camera there. And I think sometimes people don't realise that what they're watching, there has to be someone shooting that. The fact that you're watching it. So they'd be like, but how did they know? And I was like, because it's a camera.
But you know what's actually funnier? Because we call them the Chelsea bump-ins when you randomly
we used to have a TOWIE bump-in,
and it's obviously set up, like one knows that. In real life recently, I keep fucking bumping into
keep
the fuckers.
having real bump-ins.
And I'm like, am I being filmed? It happened recently. I was breaking up with one bloke. And I bumped into another bloke that I'd also broken up with. The three of us were standing there, and I was like, "This can't be right." I was
You're
like,
looking
"Where is the
for a
crew?"
camera. Yeah.
It was honestly too much. But do you think there were moments when you not regretted doing it, but that it changed your life in such a way that you think things could have been very different?
I think it's so hard to say, isn't it? Like looking back with hindsight. It was such a huge part of my life, and I'm so grateful because of what I've got now and what I've gone on to do. I'm very aware that they wouldn't be my opportunities and this wouldn't be my life if it wasn't for TOWIE. So I've never bad-mouthed the show, and I've only ever loved it, even when times are hard. And I think that was the saddest thing for me, like the last series I did, because it was so tough, and I just was going around in an echo chamber with the amnesia with a couple of the cast there. But again, that was down to cast. That wasn't the show. The show can only show what people bring to the table. I'll come in and put my balls on the table, Liv. That's just as I am. And I think if you're going to be on a reality show, kind of do that. Yeah. Some people don't want to, protecting their brands or whatever. But again, mark someone's card before and say, well, this is what I'm willing to do or what I'm not. But don't be like snidey off camera. Have a conversation with someone and then just tell lies on screen and make them look like a psychopath. But so it was never TOWIE's fault. It was a couple of the cast. But I think when you invest because there's a big trust that you put into them people, especially when it's a breakup. You have them calls with producers every day, and these people know you better than your family. So when you're that raw and vulnerable, and sometimes I used to be down on the floor like a bit of gum. Do you know what I mean? Like, your fella's cheated on you, he's shagging his ex, and this is all going on. And you think, right, I've got to blow dry my head tomorrow and go and tell the world. Like, but again, that's what you sign up for. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you say it like that, only because I was going to ask what your opinion is on a lot of people who've done reality TV and then they kind of leave it and then bash it, which I don't really agree with, because I look at a lot of people and where their careers are now, and to be honest with you, they wouldn't be there unless they had done the TV, but they're so quick to blame these shows for the downfall of their lives.
Or they will never acknowledge them in a million years. They're like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you're not on that show. I just believe in giving shows or people their flowers.
Yeah.
So for me, and there's a fair few people that have made careers off the back of it.
Oh, majority of those TV fucking presenters.
Do you know
Where
what I
did you
mean?
start, mate?
What's your thoughts on reality? Would you ever go back to Chelsea, or would you do more reality?
I don't really know. I loved Chelsea. I think I not outgrew it, but I got too old for it.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time when I used to love getting pissed and hooking up with people. I then started a business, so I was like, I need to be slightly taken more seriously.
It's a different stage in your life, maybe.
And I just feel like TV is very different now. Like back in the day, it was a lot more fun.
Yeah.
There was an element of no one really gave a shit. The Instagram thing, it wasn't about the brand deals. It was all like, I think people genuinely wanted to have a laugh. And also I enjoyed sort of making people laugh with talking about stuff on TV. Like that's what I loved about it. Whereas towards the end, I just didn't feel it was like that. I think everyone had an agenda or ulterior motive with it, and I could tell, a bit like what you were saying pretty quickly, when people weren't being themselves, which I do think the public does actually see through. To be honest.
Oh my God! And that's the thing. I think it's the biggest downfall when people think that the audience and the public are stupid. They're really not. Like. Because reality is no longer the new kid on the block. They know when someone's talking bullshit lies on the screen and manipulating them. So I think the detriment of a lot of people on reality TV now is that they think that people are stupid.
Yeah.
And we've been around too long for them to...
But I think we lucked out starting when we started because because Instagram wasn't a thing, by the time it was, we were liked.
Yeah.
It's the newer people. And I do see it, like I saw it with a lot of cast members. Some of them were getting death threats. Like the shit that people say on Instagram is unacceptable.
Dark side on social. Do you find as well that, and I'm guessing it was the same with Chelsea, but people that then started joining as years went on, they was joining as either fans of Made in Chelsea and then they become cast, and that kind of blurs the wall because they know all of your lives because they've grown up watching you. I remember one coming, and on the first day, we won't say no names though, it's like, I can't believe you're still here. I used to watch you at primary school.
Fuck off.
And I thought, fucking, firstly, what a kick in the knees that you're trying to tell me that you've watched me since primary school. Why are you watching TOWIE at primary school? And say, fuck off.
No, literally. But I think they were almost, I think there was sort of random Instagram girls that were suddenly appearing, and that's when I think the whole family aspect got disjointed, and it just wasn't
changed
really
the game.
The same. Yeah, it did. What other TV have you done?
So I did Celebs Go Dating. Did you do that?
I did
as
that.
well?
I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
did you enjoy it?
Yeah. What year was you?
I did it with Lockie that year. So
my gosh, so was you...
And Amy Childs.
Did you have the new agents by then? Because See, I was still Nadia and Eden.
Oh, yeah, so you did it back then.
So, and I remember when I first did Celebs Go Dating, it was like, I was meant to do series 2, and in the end, I ended up doing series 3. But I was like the first gay person, and I remember production trying to figure out the logistics of how it would work when it comes to like the mixers and things.
Oh, yeah.
Which even now is mad looking back, trying to think, what do we do with the gay man?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But, again, like I was saying about the toughest things on TOWIE are breakups, I take my hat off to anyone who does a dating show because I think you're showing vulnerability when it comes to dating, especially like blind dates. Like, I can be so confident I'll sit on a podcast, I can do live TV.
Oh no, but then dating is just out of the fucking question.
To go up to a guy and go, do you want a beer? Just no way. Do you know what I mean? Live TV, no steam off my piss all day long, not a problem.
Well, your one-liners are the funniest thing. I'm going to start using these as my captions. No, but I'm the same. Like,
how did you find it really like? It's like
terrifying.
Opening your skin and being vulnerable, isn't it?
Yeah. But I quite enjoyed the therapy side of it because it was quite interesting what they picked up on. But going up to people generally, like even in my like day-to-day life now, I don't date. I find it awkward.
So
and it's
hard.
nothing to do with having been on TV, but it's just like, I don't know, it feels weird. And I think my 2 big relationships were on TV.
Yeah.
But you're also having like a threesome because you got your producer and the boyfriend. So it's like, we're all doing this together.
Yeah.
Now it's like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
Wait, so who was your biggest relationship on TOWIE?
My biggest relationship was Harry.
Oh yeah. How long were you together?
Gosh, how long? We went round the houses of each other for years.
Do you think that's because you were on TV? As in you break up, get back together, or what?
No, because he and I, it started DMing me. Like, back in the day when you'd slide into DMs, I guess people still do that, but I think that was on Twitter. Before he was on the show, before he'd come back. So there's that whole kind of weird thing where the start is off camera, then it comes onto the show. So that was probably, my biggest. And And then that's the one that will also become the hardest. So
Yeah.
you had 2 on screen.
Yeah.
How was they?
They would, on reflection, and I probably shouldn't say that, the first one was really sweet, but I was young, I was new on TV, and I was very dedicated to Made in Chelsea, so I prioritised that over the relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have to sort of like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's really hard for people to understand. If you have to have a conversation with the person that you're with, you do have to speak to a producer about it first, and then that's the way it works. And it's very, the sort of loyalty to a producer and the show, and then the loyalty to your boyfriend is very hard. It's a really grey area, and I think
Completely.
but it does slightly, it's a really awkward one because you both know you've got to do it. But yeah, I don't know, it was an odd one. But that one was really sweet. And then the second one, we kind of hooked up during COVID when we were filming. And on reflection, I think he would probably say the same thing. I don't think we would have been together. But it was just more circumstantial. Because
You was just in each other's bubble.
Yeah.
Couldn't shag anyone else.
And then 2 years later, yeah, basically. That was literally it with our masks on. But that was it was really hard. But yeah, I don't know. I think those were definitely my lowest moments.
Were your breakups on screen?
Oh my God, they were horrific. One of them I didn't even, not pre-warn the other, it was Digby, but I didn't say, I sort of was put in a position where they were like, do you love him or not? And then I just had to break up with him.
Yeah.
And we went back and forth. And then Tristan, I can't remember how we broke up. But that was another one that sort of dragged on and on because then we came back and forth. But yeah, I think.
Did you come to the? Sorry to ask, for I'm interviewing you
Yeah.
now, but just
No,
I'm so
please.
intrigued in it. So when you come to the realisation in your head, bearing in mind you're in a relationship on screen, you
Yeah.
have this wake up call. You think I've got to end this, but you know you've got to do it because also your job is on screen
Yeah.
and they're following, so you've got to do that. How do you then feel when it comes to the reliving it bit? So what's your
horrific.
gap
I
between
don't watch it.
filming to, but then it going public? Because then social media, people have their opinion.
about 3 months. So you can't.
yeah.
So you go through it. So you go through, if you go through it, then you film it, then you wait for 3 months and you can't say anything. And I remember actually when I'd signed up got asked to do Celebs Go Dating, it hadn't aired that Digby and I weren't together anymore. But even though that was 3 months later, so people thought that I was still with Digby while going on Celebs Go Dating.
Because I won't get caught.
Yeah, literally, it's an open relationship. So I actually, for the first time, it was the only time I ever did it, I had to put a post up saying, no, Digby and I did break up months ago. But that's the hardest part. I think what's also hard is when it does eventually air, you do go through all those emotions again. And
Yeah.
I didn't watch the show. I stopped watching it after my first relationship because I was just like, I'm tormenting myself and I don't want to watch. I couldn't watch myself cry. I'd cry watching myself cry.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever watched those
the
scenes.
strangest feeling.
It's
isn't
weird.
It?
It's like watching someone else, but then you have. I remember having tears in my eyes watching myself, and I was like, I can't do this. It's horrific.
Was that your last series? How did you come to the? Because it's a big decision to walk away from a show like
Really
a juggernaut
hard.
like Chelsea and
Yeah.
TOWIE. They're
Well,
big machines to walk away from.
and
How
you-
did you decide?
I battled it for about a year, and then
Yeah.
my final series we filmed in Australia, and I was just at such breaking point. Like I was drinking more than I should have been drinking. I just felt really unhappy, but I just couldn't work out what to do. And I loved the show so much, but then I had my business and I had so many different things I wanted to do, which I knew I couldn't do while I was still on the show.
So it kind of
that's-
made your mind up for you.
And then I was just like, and my mental health was so horrific at that point that I was just like, I need to step away. But I never took a break. So I think I did 8. It was 8 solid years with no breaks at all.
Yeah.
Because how did you suddenly decide to leave?
So kind of similar to you, I think, because I just always loved it, and I was like the longest man on the show. I'd been there for 10 years.
Yeah, you and me both. I was
it
the longest
just
standing
such
classroom as well.
just the routine. Series ends, you go have your life for a few weeks or a couple of months,
Yeah.
starts filming again. But the last series, and I was used to say, like in interviews and on pods and stuff, when people go, how long will you stay on TOWIE? And I was like, until the day I know it's not
Yeah.
right. But I never thought that day would come. I remember saying, I want to be there to the very last day, like imagining that there would be a last day, and inevitably there will, but you're never going to know it's the
Yeah.
last. But I just kind of, I knew that last series, it was so hard for me when because it was a conversation had come up about a relationship that would happen 7 years before.
Yeah.
No one gave a toss anymore. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
You think, why have you brought that up? And then the narrative changed and people was rewriting history. Then the amnesia kicked in. And I thought, don't throw me in the washing machine here.
Yeah.
Making out that I give a shit when I really don't.
Yeah.
And then everyone's denying all not. And I thought the minute it kind of it sent me head a little bit funny, if I'm really honest.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I was just in this weird thing. I knew the truth. I remember saying to a couple of the producers, got my phone out, I was getting up fucking Google in the end. I was like, look, this is on YouTube, this is on Google, this is on the Daily Mail. We all know this happened.
Yeah.
But obviously the fourth wall of reality TV,
Yeah.
I can't go, well, by the way, do you remember in Series 6 when, because at home, we're still not filming a TV show?
Yeah.
So it just become impossible to try and get my point across, and I thought I've just got to bow out for a little bit for my own head.
Did you find it hard?
Yeah, the hardest thing I've ever done, because I loved that show.
Yeah. No, I did too, and I gave it my everything.
Yeah.
And I was so dedicated towards them. Like I'd never show up late, and you get like a thrill from doing it. And I love the crew.
completely.
The crew was more like a family as well. Like, because we have similar crews and producers.
Yeah,
I think they'll try and change.
I think a lot of they used to swap between some of our crews.
Because they'd come to us and go, by the way, Towie's doing so well, maybe Chelsea needs to do better. And that's how they would do it.
And they'd tell us the same. Yeah.
But it was like a strange sort of family, because I think that's what I actually found harder was walking away from all of that.
Yeah. And that because it's a strange existence. When it's your first step into this industry and you put your balls or your tits on the table, and your whole life for a decade, which is a huge part of your life and your adult life, decisions you're making, relationships, for one day to go, look, I've got to kind of just bow out, whether it's for 1 week, 1 month or for eternity. Thank you, but I've got to go. I think it's the hardest thing to make. But on reflection, I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
As hard as it is, is there ever an ideal way? I mean, I would have chose for it in my head to have been a completely different situation. But again, sometimes when a decision's taken out of your hands, because I'd still be there now if that last series hadn't have been so tough and it hadn't have been nightmare. Yeah, probably.
Would you ever go back?
I don't know. I think when you're done, you're done. I think never say never. But it was just too difficult. And because there is that fourth wall, you can't really explain. And then you cleverly try and put things into conversation, half hoping that, and knowing that the people at home are wise.
Yeah.
So you'd word things thinking that they're clocking what you're saying here. So I'd be like, well, everyone knows that was always kind of hashtag, well, it's been on TV.
Yeah.
Or I've seen or I've heard, well, I watched. So you'd find little ways to try and let people know. But again, it's not the show, it's not the genre. I think sometimes if you're up against it with someone that's just all right to go on camera and do what they do, well, it's a dance, isn't it? And if someone's not dancing with you, and you think, why am I rowing here?
Yeah.
What am I going to achieve? We all know what happened. It's like me telling, I don't know, it's as clear as the nose on my face. It is what it is. So yeah.
Okay, so obviously there are some massive arguments, but your biggest one was obviously with Gemma. How long ago did this start?
So me and Gemma, this is the thing, we were like best mates, and she was the sister I've never had, and we were so close. I mean, TOWIE production used to love us because they'd save money. We'd all obviously get our hotel rooms whenever we was travelling away. We'd all stay with each other. So there was well, we'll have an extra room for one of the producers, or we'll save that on the budget. So they loved that we was like a married couple, we just weren't shagging each other. And we were so close, as close as you can be. Do you know what I mean? And I always had her back on that show. And things happen. I'm really down to loyalty means a lot to me, whether it's friendship, relationships. And once that's kind of gone, I find it, I don't get over it quick. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I don't really know why that is.
But is that in real life and on TOWIE?
Yeah.
It's hard though with that, because for anyone listening who might not understand this, your loyalty essentially does lie with the show. Like, as in, you have to, but when you're close enough with someone, you would hope that they would have your back.
Yeah.
And when they then don't have your back, you look at them like they are a cunt.
And it hurts almost double hard.
Oh no, it's worse.
And falling out with Jen was worse than any breakup I've ever had.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's one of them things that I can't hold her, and I wouldn't dream. I mean, it's forever and a day ago. I don't wish anyone harm in life. Things happen in life, and you sit there and you reevaluate things. I'm 40 in August. I can't carry grudges. Do you know what I mean? You got to build a bridge and fucking get over it. I will have your back forever. If I'm close to you. And when that goes, I think it's just someone showing you a side to them. And like you say, when it comes to TV, that can play a part. But when you think your friendship and your relationship's more than that. But for me, I can't hold Gemma personal for what we fell out over, really. Because she was in a shit situation between me and someone else. And so it's not like she'd physically done me wrong. So I can't hold her responsible. I don't hold her responsible. It just really was a kick in the tits.
Was it something that happened on the show?
Off screen.
Off the show?
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken about what actually happened?
Not really, because again, I respect the girl, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even though we don't speak, I still love her, do you know what I mean? She was the big sister I've never had. So I wouldn't sit here and badmouth her or dog it or go into details, really. But it, you know, like, and it's like I don't know if you used to get told this when you was a kid, but it was always worse for someone to be disappointed than angry. Like, my mum was like, I'm disappointed. Absolutely. I would rather her be fucking furious.
Yeah.
But when someone's disappointed, it's worse. But I kind of get that now I'm older. I'm not angry. I was just disappointed.
Yeah, slightly gutting.
Yeah.
Do you think you could would there ever be a place where you would want to be friends again or could be friends again?
Yeah, never say never. If I ever saw her out and about, because like I say, it wasn't that deep a thing between us. It was just, I guess as well, like, and I've learned in life, the older I get, God, I sound like Mother Teresa, I'm not that fucking old. But in gay years, I'm like 96, you know what I mean? We age like dogs. But I think I've got to a stage in my life where I realise that I can be as loyal and a Rottweiler for my friends and my loved ones. And people can bring their version of loyalty to the table.
Yeah.
But you can't judge someone if they've not got your level of loyalty.
Yeah.
Which I think I didn't really ever understand, like, in my 20s. I was like, why are you not fucking loyal like me?
Yeah.
But I think I've just got to a stage where I'm like, my loyalty could be 100. If someone's 78, that's not their fault. They can go, well, you bring your 100, I'm bringing 78. So I think, I don't know.
Do you think as you've gone, like, at times gone on, you've not lost friends, but sort of cut the loose ends of friends that you would have had when you were younger?
Yeah, and I think as well, doing what we do for a living, and I think on a reality show as well, I think you kind of, you keep your circle close.
Yeah.
And also just with age as well, I know what I want from a friendship or a relationship, and life's just too short. Like back in the day, you could go through your phone on BBM days or go on WhatsApp chats, and you could have 15 people. You could arrange to go and have the best night out in your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you go and have a big group holiday. But all them people going to be there when you sit down, like heart on heart, or when shit's going down. Not so much.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
I think you just kind of have your holiday people, your party people. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's just age. Maybe I'm just a wise old man. Maybe I am Mother Teresa. Who knows? I'm like fucking Gandhi
with a younger face.
Yeah.
And let's get into the face. Your glorious facelift. First question. Can you explain why did you actually decide to get one?
So, absolutely, I will explain, because a lot of people say on social media, I was like, Bobby, you didn't look old. And I thought, thanks. But it wasn't that. I weren't one of like these deluded people that have like gone to the surgeon and gone, make me look 18. He's a surgeon, not a fucking magician. Do you know what I mean? It was, I'd stretched my face out. I don't know if it happened as bad in Chelsea, but Essex, we had this terrible era, pre-amnesia pandemic, where we fell down rabbit holes with fillers.
Yeah.
So my lips was out here, my cheeks was out here, and every 12 weeks I'd go a little bit more, an extra couple of meals, and I stretched myself out so bad, and I decided in lockdown, when you couldn't make TV, so it was all kind of, apart from the nurses and doctors who were going out saving lives, we were sat home, people was making banana bread. I weren't going to learn Latin, do you know what I mean? Fuck that. I can only say bonjour. And TOWIE, ITV had nothing really to put out apart from like news things, so it was repeating a lot of old shows. So TOWIE, they started playing from day one, and it was like looking at a photo album, and I'd seen myself come on screen. Things I hadn't seen for years. And I was like, right, different nose, different teeth. And as episodes and hours went by, I could see myself almost like...
Evolving.
Yes, a really lovely way of putting it. Thank you, Liv. Evolving, that's exactly what it was. But I was just completely changing. Every couple of series, I'd had something else done or tweaked. And I'd started training. The Wilderness Unicorn was trying to get a dumbbell online when we weren't allowed out of the house. And Boris was like, you're allowed 1 hour. So anyway, I managed to find a dumbbell. So I'd started trying to train. And I'd realised that my face that would kind of become like a caricature didn't suit where I felt anymore. This was all in the global pandemic. I mean, who picks a global pandemic to go through these faults and crises? Anyway, me. So I dissolved all of my fillers when we was allowed out of the house. It was all legal and kosher. I didn't break any bubbles. And I was just left with excess skin. I was like, where you've stretched it and stretched it and stretched it, some people, if you don't hammer and absolutely abuse fillers like me, you can dissolve it, and 9 times out of 10 it just goes back to normal. When you've had a truckload, it's never going back. The elasticity is fucked. So I had no option.
What did your face look like underneath?
It was just excess skin underneath. The horror on your face.
No, because you know when you suddenly see girls who get their lips deflated, not deflated at all, but it's just because
it was just like a saggy ball bag. It was like a ball sack. It felt like in my head. Bearing in mind, if you think about it, so it's like if you put a Sky Control into a condom and left it for 10 years and you took that control out, that Johnny is going to be fucking baggy. And that was my face.
No, exactly. No, it was not. Just quickly, had you had any work done before you went on TOWIE?
No.
But how quickly into your filming of TOWIE did you first get something done?
Probably about 3 months, 6 months.
And was it from comments people had made, or because you'd watched yourself and thought, hang on, I could do with a bit of tweaking there?
I think probably a mixture of both. I did used to have a really bad, deep line on my forehead. An ex-boyfriend used to call it a minge.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, it is an ex now.
Yeah, I think dumped.
And in the gay world, no one wants a minge anyway, especially on their face. So that was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
I filled the minge.
And then, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
So you put yours one way, no, because mine was a crevice that you could hold a fag in, like.
Did yours go down?
Mine was down, and it was aggressive.
Was like,
but I waited 4 fucking years to get that cunt sorted.
Did you?
God, stop saying cunt. I waited like 4 years to get it sorted, and then I was like, I've got to leave made in Chelsea now.
Well, could you not do it while she was
No,
on the
I
show?
could, but I was just so scared. Not scared, but I think I just didn't. I don't know. I'd never thought about it.
So was you one of few then? That
I was the only one who had nothing
done.
No, I waited till I was 28 and I joined the show when I was 20. And I just didn't think about
That's
it.
almost unheard of.
No, I know. But I think for
Which
me...
is lovely, by the way. I'm not judging,
listen,
but wow.
If you ever watch it back, I could have done with it early days. But mine was a lot of frowning, and then also my lips were always something that bothered me, but I was just too scared to do it. And then
So it wasn't that you was worried that you'd be... when you say scared, was it because the needles or
Yeah.
scared that the public would judge you?
No, I was just scared it wouldn't look right on my face, and I think I've got quite a small face. And anyway, now I've only realised because I've had my teeth fucking done, I never needed the lips done.
Yeah, you often find with teeth that actually
Yeah,
that changes the lips.
such a difference. In the beginning, people were when Instagram became a thing, it was very much about the way you looked. They didn't give a shit about your behaviour. You could behave however you wanted, no one cared. They kind of thought it was funny.
No one gave a shit, as long as you had lovely eyebrows.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. As long as your lip was hanging on.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, it was less about the way you looked and more about your behaviour. And then it was people being like... I mean, luckily, I was so fortunate. I never really badly got trolled. No, because I had hair loss, and so I got a lot of bad comments on that. That was the only nasty thing people would always say. Just go and grow some hair, you bald bitch.
And some people crawl. Like, when you look back on social media, the way people would kind of go for it. But I would see spits and spurts of how bad things were. And it definitely all... Because we never really got that on Twitter. I remember I'd get trolled from a sexuality. Like, they thought if we troll him enough, he'll get a wife. I was never going to wake up with a bird. Do you know what I mean?
Can we talk about this for a minute? Were you the first gay guy on reality TV then?
No, my ex was on there before, but he was like 17 at the time, and he'd left as I joined. So I think in terms of I don't know, mate. Yeah, probably after he had gone.
But did you get like homophobic hate?
Oh, completely, yeah.
But just people saying what?
Well, just everything you can imagine, really. But bearing in mind, like, my family, like, from the East End, and I was a man in my late 20s at that point, well, early 20s. There ain't nothing I ain't been called. Like, that's why I've got a thick skin, and that's why nothing. It's just armour to me. Like, there's not a slur in the world that would ever really bother me. It got really dark with like death threats and stuff from the dark web, and I was being sent people hanging and beheading and like the darkest of shit. Which is kind of why I then went to Downing Street and Parliament to make a law against trolling. But
wait, like, when was this?
What period was it? I think I started my petition. I'm trying to think.
That's horrific.
But all the dates become a blur. So pre-pandemic, so maybe 18, 19, and I was being sent in the darkest shit. And then people would go to, I'm not that technical, I'd barely do a bit of face tune, do you know what I mean? Bit of smooth,
yeah.
Get rid of the minge. And I couldn't understand how they'd gone to the time and the effort of getting these war videos and these terrorist videos, and then they would put my face and my head on this person, and the most horrendous things was happening to him because I was gay. And I was like, but you can send these videos every day. I'm still gay. This isn't going to change anything. That is a hate crime. Oh, completely.
So then what happened with the petition?
So the petition, because what had happened with, and this is, I think, the rise of internet in general and social media, definitely, laws haven't caught up. So what was illegal, and I guess in some ways, I mean, I didn't ever go to law school. I would like to be like Elle Woods, though. But what is illegal in a street isn't always necessarily illegal online, even though it should be.
Yeah.
So if I come up to you on the Central Line and said something, and I said half the things that people say on social media, that would be a crime.
Yeah.
But there was this whole grey area that it wasn't really marrying up when it was online. So it was to kind of just to make things like, especially homophobic crimes or anything that was a hate crime, discrimination, let's have that as, whether that's online or not, because the internet ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was no longer an excuse for people to go, well, the internet hasn't caught up. Well, the law has to catch up because we're all walking around with these devices and we're doing emails, banking, social media. This is life now, so we can't keep going, oh, the law ain't caught up. It's fucking got to catch up quick.
Yeah.
And the more I spoke about it, I got some messages from people had come home and their children had taken their own lives, and and I was like, thank you so much for doing this. I come home and my boy was in the garage or in the bath, just awful.
Actually makes it's the most.
And I was like,
it's
thing. Just a waste of life. But people don't realise, and I think they just think it's like people like us or people on TV that get trolled. It's really not like life, and being a teenager is hard enough as it is.
The stuff that I have seen some people say to other kids, and these are
awful.
Kids. It's
and they're taking their lives.
Oh no, it's horrific. And like, you know, now when you hear about kids talking about depression and anxiety, I didn't have anxiety till I was like well into my career in Chelsea, let alone being 14 having anxiety. Like I think life, I'm incredibly lucky and grateful that social media was not around then. But I do think something has to change.
Completely. And I just don't know if it was a generational thing or if it's the rise of, again, I'm no psychologist, but with the growth of social media, is there a knock-on effect with mental health and these faults? Because I didn't ever go to school with anyone or something that we knew that was trying or had taken it, but that just wasn't a thing. Do you know what I mean? People might have a scrap after school at the bridge and that was it. You'd have a fight. People weren't going around self-harming or killing themselves. It just wasn't in our psyche to do that. And let alone being like the depression and everything that goes with it now. And I think maybe, and again, it's not, I love the internet, we love social media, of course we do. But there's got to be some correlation
there's something, I think
has to be.
I think, and I'm not a YouTuber. I don't sit and watch YouTube. It's just not for me. But the level of young people who sit and watch things on YouTube, and I think when kids' brains aren't fully developed, they're subjected to so many things. And even if it is watching like a video game where someone's shooting someone else, I think that it triggers some anger thing in something, or it does something to younger people, which is why there's a lot of anger. Like kids seem angry now which I definitely don't remember. I remember, honestly, at school, at best, you having your books knocked out of your hand. Like, that was it. There was nothing else. But it's now so... It puts me... I really question whether I do want kids, because I just don't know what they're growing up in. Would you want children?
I've always wanted children. Obviously, it's always going to be a little bit more tricky for me. I'm never just going to take someone out for a steak and chips and get her knocked up on a Friday night. It's always got to be planned, unfortunately, when you're on the other bus. And I've got a season ticket, you know what I mean, for the other team. So there's no accidents going to happen.
Yeah.
But like you said, on a real, it terrifies me. If this is her life, isn't it? Even if I had a baby in a year's time... What the fuck is this country or this world going to be like in 10, 16 years by the time they're getting to... Like, it terrifies me. Because it feels so different to when I was at school. And I know social media and the internet's probably changed that a lot. I'm so glad, as much as I love it as an adult, and I'm saying, like, and being real about the dark shit I get on social media, but I'm big enough and ugly enough to deal with it. 14-year-old Bobby wouldn't have dealt with that very well.
No.
And I think that's going to be even worse in another 16 years. And it just terrifies me because the genie's out the bottle now.
Yeah. And I don't think there's no coming back from any of this stuff now, sadly. I think the damage is almost done. How have you dealt with your mental health? Like, did you ever have therapy or anything?
Yeah, I love a little bit of therapy. I think...
Yeah, so do I. I advise everyone to have therapy.
Well, God, it's the best. And I know a lot of people go, it's very Americanalised. Americanalised? God, if I can get your veneers in. But I really love it. Bearing in mind, because of what we do and have done as jobs, every time you do a reality show, I think especially after stuff we've seen over the last few years as well with some reality stars, there's a duty of care there. Yeah. And to speak to a psych is a must to take part in shows. But I just love sitting and talking to people. I'm a people watcher, a talker. So for me, therapy, anyone that will sit and listen to me for an hour, I think I'm going to pay you at the end of this. Do you know, but I just absolutely love it. My mental health, I'm very open about it. I think some people still have like a shame in it. And I'm just a big believer, do whatever feels best for you. I struggle sometimes with my anxiety and stuff. And I feel as time had gone on and I've kind of set myself a New Year's resolution in May that because I'm turning 40 in August, I want to be less scared of things. Yeah. Like, my life is so ruled by fears and phobias, and half of them are just stupid.
What's your biggest fear?
Heights, probably. But again, I kind of get rationally that there'd be a reason why your body's scared of that. But eating fish bothers me. Do you know what I mean? It's like textures. I can't eat a banana, shockingly. But they're weird things that really irk me and bother me. So I want to try and take control because I'm turning the big 4-0. I'm like, God, if you can just try and I did Celebrity SAS a few years ago.
Oh my God, how did you find that?
The hardest thing I've ever done, but the best thing I've ever done. I think, and I felt really ignorant and guilty in terms of I'd never really thought about when we grew up living our lives. I never went to school with anyone that become an SAS soldier. Yeah. I never gave it a second thought. And you hear these stories of what these 16-year-old boys and girls are sometimes that go into the army, what they see, hear and do at that age. You know, I was like running around with 10 B&H, do you know what I mean? Like, over the part of a bottle of white lightning sometimes. Yeah. And you think, shit, what some people are actually doing and what they're really seeing. And I felt a bit bad that I'd never really thought about it before. But you think, gosh, it ain't half as bad as what some of these people say. So I try to face fears and phobias. I'm still riddled with them. Yeah. But we'll say whether I'll ever eat a bit of cod, the jury's out. But my life ain't going to end. If I eat fish, I don't, you know what I mean? So we'll see about that. But yeah, are you quite open about your mental health?
No, I'm not actually. I should be. I probably, you know what? I weirdly had a conversation with my agent about this the other day. I'm going to start talking about it more because I had a bit of mine was pretty poor mental health, yeah. But I only dealt with it within the last year. As I started having, I should have started. I wish I'd started therapy a long time ago. But I just had very low moments. Yeah. I on reflection now can't imagine I can't imagine how. It's a really awkward one to talk about. But yeah, no, I had like really, really dark times, to be honest with you.
And sometimes you don't realise how low or dark they are until you're out of it and you look back.
Yeah. And then on reflection, I look at it, I'm like, how did I get myself into such a bad place? And I think the other thing, when I was on the show, not that I was happy all the time, because I was pretty fucking miserable when I was going through breakups, but I was always like, I was happy. And I thought I was happy, and I kept telling myself I was happy. But then the sort of low moments were so dark that I was like, it was just so off balance. But no, in the last year, I've had therapy. And even my sweet therapist, who I have now officially done a year with, she was like, listen, we've done the year. And I said, why don't we just take a little break? And she's like, the second a man comes into your life, you fucking ring me. And I was like, I will. That's what it is. It's a problem with men. That's my issue.
Yeah. Oh, I hear ya.
But no, I just try and I don't know. Just take a little step back every now and then.
That's a great place to get to, though, that you've had that realisation. That's amazing.
But only now. I think also with time and with age and with friendships and like work. And I think where I did struggle though was after I left the show, I had this bizarre like personality crisis. And I was like, who the fuck am I? Like, am I Liv Bentley who's sort of rowdy on TV? Am I the woman who's trying to sell fucking lube? Or like, I don't know what the hell I was doing. It was weird. And it took a like weird adjustment period to then figure out really what I wanted to do.
And then it's also... You've got the other side of the coin. People, what do they think you are or who you? Because I think people still think to this day, I'm running up and down Brentwood High Street, just slut dropping in the sugar hut with a Louis Vuitton on my arm.
This is the thing. Do you get people sort of like not booking you for jobs, but have an expectation of, you know, if you're ever asked to do anything, of you being who you were 10 years ago when you were on TOWIE?
They've never turned around and said it, but maybe. I certainly think that there's people that think I just run around with a Louis Vuitton on my arm and I'll just slut drop and do Jaeger bombs all day. Which I guess it's maybe that moment in time that you capture people that they just think back to and relate to. You think, fuck, I ain't got the knees to slut drop anymore.
Because I get worried that people think I am this rowdy savage when I'm not. I'm probably at home reading, doing fuck all. You had a health scare recently. What happened?
Yeah, so it was something to do with my heart, and it was pretty, again, because in my head, I think we all still think we're like really young, and I'm aware that we are young. It's all grand scheme.
Listen,
of
doing
things,
TV ages you double what normal people go through, let me tell you.
And so the paramedic, he took me in, and he first was talking about my heart, and he said something about like a heart attack, and I went, well, it can't be that.
Wait, so hang on, where were you? Were you at home or something?
I was at home, and paramedic said something about potential heart attack, and I was like, oh no, it can't be that, I'm far too young. He looked me up and down, he went, you ain't, mate. And I thought, fuck
off.
Yeah, if I'm gonna die, what a fucking way to take me out. So that was a reality that I kind of thought in my head, I think I'm too young. He was like, no, mate. So anyway, long story short, I was in hospital for a few days, and heart issues, I won't go into too much about it, but the really, really kind female doctor, she said at one point that there was a chance it was bad, and if it was something that they thought, one of the specialists thought it could potentially be, I could be dead in 12 hours.
What?
So when someone kind of tells you that, you and I still don't really, I can't get my head around it now because I'm just not there in my head. I don't feel like, me die? Like, no.
But wait, what
I was going to
triggered
Sheesh that night. Like, so I had plans, and I remember being, and it sounds ridiculous, I remember being a bit pissed off because I thought, well, I'm going out tonight. Which sounds fucking... I can't die, I'm going to the Turkish. Which I know sounds insane, but you don't expect to ever be told that there's a possibility that if it's X, Y, and Z, that you could be dead in 12 hours. And I think there was just this little wake-up call where I kind of thought, shit, just right, thought is coming up, and I just want to just tackle things different. Do you know what I mean? Life's too short. So when it comes to ex-boyfriends, people you've fallen out with, things that haven't worked out, I don't want to carry grudges, because I think it's
think that you hold on to it, it makes you sick. I genuinely believe it makes you sick.
Well, they call like a disease is disease. Your body's diseased.
Yeah.
So for me, exactly, I don't want to carry poison and anger and hatred, and life is too short. So whether I've got 12 hours, 12 months, 12 years, hopefully more.
It will be more.
Thank you, darling. And I just, life's too short. And you think about the things that we've bothered about, the things I fucking read about. You look at things that we've read about on TV, stupid fucking things. Yeah. It's all so trivial, or we get pissed off that you don't know what to wear somewhere.
What
are we doing here? Like, we're all wasting wasting time.
Yeah, I think it's hard that people forget how precious life really is, and actually. My big thing is don't sweat the small stuff, but it's scary though when something like that happens.
Yeah,
when your
and
life's
it's a real wake up. I'm starting to think maybe I am like Mother Teresa reincarnated. After today, the more I'm starting to speak, maybe there's a message coming through. But no, I'm not blaspheming. I'll probably get cancelled now.
No, no, you've got more to give.
Yeah, but I think it was just a wake up call. And sometimes, like you were saying, you've got to step back and you look back. It's not until you get to a better stage in your life that you look back and you realise that things might not have been so good.
Yeah.
But life is tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So like it sounds so cliche, or something you'd read on the back of a penguin. But go live your life. Do you know what I mean? Go be happy. Chalk fuck under the bad things and go and create good memories because life's too short.
No, I'm 100% with you. For sure. Well, thank you very much. This has been amazing. And I hope to have you back again. Bobby Norris.
Oh, thank you, guys.
No, that was great.